The coronavirus is obviously a major health and financial issue in our lives this year. Tonight, some solutions close to home about your money as we go forward. News Channel 3 senior reporter John Palmentary joins us now live. And John, there are many concerns about financial security these days.
And we've been tracking this very closely now because the end of this year and the beginning of next year can be very challenging. For example, someone who has lost their job and has no replacement job, someone who has stretched their money all the way out so far and they don't have much relief left, or they don't see any government money coming their way. This branch of Montecito Bank and Trust just opened up here in the Santa Barbara Mesa, and like other banks as well, this is an example of how the consumer down conversation these days about their money.
I think during the pandemic we have noticed that our clients appreciate the ability to come in and interact with their banker.
With so many Americans worried about their finances these days, a chance to talk it out in person has become an old-fashioned method that's paying off for the customer and their banks.
Nothing beats being able to sit down in front of your banker and having us help solve a problem together.
Montecito Bank and Trust has opened a new Mesa location at a time when financial security during the coronavirus and the economic instability we're facing can bring some uncertain customers through the door for help.
We've seen a real surge. All banks have seen a surge in deposits. People are concerned about security. They bring their monies to the bank because they feel like this is the safest place for it to be.
It is a digital world, and if they don't feel like walking in, technology is also just outside the door for a safe transaction.
If they want to interact with this, they're welcome to, or they can just step into the branch.
In our modern world that's been pushing online banking services so strongly in recent years, having a freestanding building with one-on-one personal communications is still a great value to customers. You also might recall the hundreds of calls and applications that came in when federal loans were offered in the first few weeks of the pandemic, processed with online forms and personal calls over the phone.
There will always be people here to answer their questions and to help them out.
These days, it's also a little life coaching, too.
Sometimes things happen in people's lives that they weren't expecting, and we're prepared to adjust as they have to adjust.
Our bankers are terrific about going through, what is your financial situation? Let's talk a little bit about your balance sheet. Let's make sure that you've got, the right loans at the right rates. We've been doing a ton of refinancing for people just because it's an appropriate time to do that.
Here, there's also a community room for nonprofits and groups to meet and have a work session, often where they have their organization's money. This branch also has a mega screen presentation with information, bank services, and pictures of community partners all in a rotation. So you can see the modern day bank has a lot to offer. In these conditions that we're facing right now, banks tell us they have to be ready to pivot very quickly if the government does, for example, start sending down some business relief money or payroll protection money that has to be administered by banks. They have to understand it, learn it, explain it to the customer, and then process it. And as we saw in the report, hundreds of calls came in just like that on the last go-around. They are hoping to see some kind of relief very soon as well. Reporting live on the Santa Barbara Mesa this evening, I'm John Palmentary, News Channel 3.
All right, really helpful information. Thank you, John. Ventura County.